It's one thing to know something. That's just when you, to know something just means you just gathering data. It's another thing to really understand. It's the same as the basic karate movie, where the guy has all the techniques and he know how to kick ass, but it hadn't become a part of his nature. So the person who has got it into the subconscious whips his ass until he realizes it's got to flow. That's what Yoda was trying to teach Luke Skywalker, saying that the force has to flow. You see what I'm saying? Don't force it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing about, it's one thing to know, but it's another thing to let this stuff become a part of your essence.
All my life, I've had this deep notion within myself that felt as if there was something more to life than what was labeled or even justified as being physical, or what man considers the state of matter and what makes things the way that they are. I never really allowed myself to get caught up in those mental constructs. It's almost like having an itch that you couldn't scratch, knowing that there was something more to what you were being shown or being taught or even programmed. I mean, crazy strong, doing things that most would consider abnormal. But I never allowed that to be just something I accepted or just took as something as an observation or that someone had upon me. I've always been intrigued to know the source of which that type of force comes from. And this when one day I found it. I found that very thing that drove me to understanding the true essence of what that was. You have certain individuals that call it Qigong, Qi, Prana, energy. I'm not too caught up with the names, to be honest with you, but more so the actual essence of what it is, the formless nature that can absorb and transfer, tapping deep into one's core, finding the spark that sets the blaze. I have archived many of things over my years, a few videos that I've come across that I've been waiting to share. And in doing this, this isn't meant to gloat, this isn't for clout, this isn't for any type of, approval or validation, but just more so a message to those who've always known that there was something more to them than what reality tried to label them as, something more to this world that we live in, something more to their reasoning of existing, something more to their purpose and knowing that they're different for a reason. So in this particular video, I was doing a demonstration with some young men that I was mentoring at the time, showing them that, yes, you've seen me do things as far as how I train my body, how I train my core, how I train my mind to do these particular things. But it's one thing to be fascinated by what you see. It's another thing to know to find that particular reasoning as to why it's so massive. So in other words, I wanted to show them something that they weren't used to seeing.
And I guarantee you, all three of y'all gonna touch that bed.
But we don't have to let you let us win.
I want y'all to, yeah.
All right.
You must lean into it?
Yeah, let's just stop it. Let's stop it. He is strong. But now we're stronger.
Oh, shit.
Bro, did you try to stop him?
You will notice the reaction in the one at the front on how he felt my energy before he felt the force that went through the pillow I had to hold.
I was flabbergasted because as soon as he started, he said, his hand started like,
Oh.
I was like, oh,
Man, come on, let's try it again. Let's let our ego beat it.
But I wanted him to feel the energy from my fist before I released the power that was behind it.
push it.
Is that real? You gotta be that committed looking stupid for him.
Okay, I need you to pretty much get behind him. And be his leverage. Like support his shoulders.
Can you just give him the pillow?
Just like that. And what I want to do is, I want to transfer this and
Just play.
I'm going to get to him.
You broke his knees. I heard some crack. You hear that crack?
I tried that time. I tried.
Hey, he was trying not to fall. I felt him trying not to fall.
I was like, no.
He can make sure he was true.
I was showing them what it looks like and what it feels like to be in the presence of a supreme being, living in a human experience, letting them know that I am just a reflection of you. Meaning, if I'm able to do this, so can you. All you have to do is trust yourself, embrace your potential, defy all the laws that have created barriers and boundaries and limitations towards one's mind, truly liberating them to seeing the truth as to what they're capable of doing. Life is all about giving back. You have too many in this world that go off of greed and allow power to corrupt their minds, feeding into this corrupted society that we live in, making it no better for those who are just trying to find a way, trying to make a way, struggling and striving to survive into something that feels endless, somewhat like an abyss. But as I mentioned earlier, these videos that I've chose to share are only meant to merely validate what you've always known was within you. Something you've always known you possessed. All you simply have to do is tap in. All in all, the whole purpose of this video is to let you know that you're amazing. But don't let my words or those who you trust within your circles that say the same thing be the reasoning of why that is. You gotta see it for yourself. This is Amaru. Stay lifted.